And welcome back to a very special episode of the TV show. I say special because Rhea is down at the shore. I'm in Bermuda. Angelo, I'm assuming you're in Mexico. Where are you at, Angelo?
Isle City, New Jersey. I'm down the shore also.
Look, we're all in different places. This is the commitment that the people on this show have to our listeners. We have decided to continue performing even while we're on vacation. So it's so nice that you guys are here with us. And we're going to jump into it. There was a huge article on The Ringer. I sent it to you guys. I hope you had a chance to read it about Apple TV and the fact that it is by far the highest ratio of good shows to like the rest of the content. Like by a long shot, if you look at every show that they make, all of them tend to score very high with their IMDb scores, meaning that the people who watch them really like them. However, it is probably the smallest streamer, lower even than Peacock, with only 19 million subscribers. So the question that the article poses is just how much does quality matter when it comes to streaming? We always talk, you make the shows people will watch. Well, it certainly seems like people are making the shows at Apple and people aren't watching. So I want to get your thoughts on this. Does quality matter as much as marketing or market share? And where do you stand on this? Angela, what's your thoughts on this?
I got to say, it's ironic because later in this podcast, I have a really strong recommendation of a brand new show on Apple TV. Again, Apple. And they had Platonic. They've got Ted Lasso's one of the biggest streaming hits since we've had streaming. Shrinking, terrific show. Physical, I really like. And this new show, I like even more than all of those. Apple is winning the streaming wars for viewers, but not quality. Look, if quality was that big a deal, Jay, wouldn't network TV be doing some of that now? They used to. They had a lot of great shows on. Quality does not pay the bills, unfortunately. And the real question should be, where the hell is Netflix and Max and Prime? Why are they not doing shows that are this good? I don't understand it.
Yeah, Apple seems to have a philosophy of we're going to lose money on this for as long as necessary. And the question the article poses is how long are they willing to do this? It's $1 billion a year, which is a lot of money, but it's Apple. It's a $3 trillion company. I feel like they have $1 billion. If they need to raise $1 billion, they raise the price of an iPhone a nickel, and now they have $1 billion. But they make these quality shows and nobody seems to really care. Rhea, do you subscribe to Apple Plus? Or are you an Apple?
So I do, but it's funny. Apple is what I watch the least. Now I love Ted Lasso. Slow Horses is one of my favorite shows, and I can't think of another show that I watch on Apple. I'm a little bit different, as you guys know. I love the British shows, so Amazon Prime is my go-to because I can access BritBox and I can access Acorn and Masterpiece Theater. But I also watch stuff on Hulu. I watch stuff on Peacock. I watch stuff on AMC. I look for the quality. I rarely ever go to it to find a show. Like, it doesn't connect with, I know I love Ted Lasso. I know I love Slow Horses, and I'll watch it if a new season drops. Otherwise, Apple is not at the top of my list to go to, browse for a new show. I just don't hit it.
Well, that raises the last point that I wanted to bring up, which is Apple did not go out and buy a library. So Peacock and has The Office, Netflix. I forget what they had Friends for a long time. They might still have Friends. Max has all of those great WB shows. So when you're just kind of saying let me throw something on, like my daughters will throw on Max because they want to watch the middle. They love the middle, and that's where the Max is. And they find other stuff because they're throwing Max on and they get to that splash page. Maybe Apple should take some of that money and just buy a studio library. So they go hey, we got all this quality, but if you just want to watch Seinfeld, it's here. And there might be something to that when it comes to a streaming service. That's all I'm saying, Apple.
I have something I would like to say now because my feelings are hurt. Rhea and I go back a long way together.
Yes, we do.
On a previous podcast, I have strongly urged people to watch Shrinking, starring some of the great Jason Segel, what's his name?
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, Harrison Ford. I was very adamant that was a show worth watching. She ignored that. Platonic, that Rogan, Rose Byrne actually saw them. I was very, very adamant in loving that show. Once again, crickets in Rhea's house. No reaction whatsoever. So, Rhea, here's the thing. Before we go much further, I have a recommendation for a show that I guarantee you will love, that has English undertones, and that is just come out on Apple Plus. I will recommend it later in the podcast. I would like you now to pledge to me you will watch the first episode. Pledge it, Rhea.
I promise you I will watch it because I'm off and I have nothing else to do.
Okay. Rhea, there are people in it with English accents. I think you like it. That's all I'm saying.
I just realized.
But Jay, get back to my. What happened to Netflix? What happened to Max? Where's the next Sopranos? We had The Idol on HBO. Where is the quality on the other major streamers?
I think that, I think the numbers are what's showing us here that it doesn't matter. Everybody that watches the Apple shows loves them, according to this article in the statistics, but only 19 million people subscribe to it. So the 19 million people are either not speaking their mind about it, or that people don't care. They go like, well, there's not enough content on there. If I subscribe to Netflix, maybe the shows are mediocre, but there's 75 million of them versus like 7 really, really good shows.
It's a money thing. It's a money thing too. I mean, how many things can you subscribe to?
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Apple is the cheapest though. It's only $7, which I know, all these things add up, but like, that's the other aspect of it. It's the cheapest and it's the best. And you can get it on your iPhone for 3 months for free. What's stopping you guys? Let's subscribe to Apple so the quality shows can keep coming. Come on.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's a great message getting out there today, Jay. Good job.
I'm a public service, Angelo. That's what I do. All right. So this show does not get political, but I do want to talk about a phenomenon that goes back to the 90s with Court TV. And, the biggest TV show of our lifetimes, I would say, probably the O.J. Simpson trial.
No doubt. Yeah.
I mean, everybody watched it. I mean, there were the dancing Edos on Leno. I mean, come on. It was the huge cultural phenomenon. There is a push by Democrats. I saw this last week to have the Trump trial put onto TV as a public service to everybody. Now, I'd like to see it. I think my politics because I would enjoy the schadenfreude of it. But just taking myself out of it, it would be bigger, I believe, than the O.J. Simpson trial. I think that it would be a bigger circus. I think it would be more insane. And I don't know if it's good for the country. I don't know if a political figure on television like that, I think it might be better off if it wasn't on TV. And I was just curious your thoughts on it. Rhea, I know you and I share somewhat similar.
Yes.
So, would you like to see Trump on trial, or does it hurt the country?
So here's the crazy thing. So my personal opinion is it should not be shown because I think it will just further divide an already divided country. I just think, in my mind, I'm like, this will be chaos. Trump will, be going crazy. The prosecutor, they'll be losing their minds over that. And then I read an opinion piece in the New York Times by Stephen Brill, who's actually the founder of Court TV. And Jay, maybe we put a link to it because it's really fascinating. He makes the case that it should be shown because this is his opinion. Court is a quiet, somber sanctuary where rules prevent the disorienting chaos we experience online. So his point is, you're not allowed to introduce hearsay. You're not allowed to introduce rumors. He's spoken to millions of jurors after they've actually gone through a court case who say they view the justice system more favorably after they've sat in court, because it's not like what we see on TV, on the TV shows that I love to watch. It's far different. It's everything has to be factually based, and the judge listen, my opinion still is I think somehow it will still be chaotic and not good for our country, but I can't dismiss the case that he makes for it.
That's a fascinating point of view. That's
Yeah.
actually really solid. Angela, what are your thoughts on it?
Brill is correct, and you guys are nuts. All right. First of all, listen to me. You're saying you don't want the American people to watch history as it unfolds. You do not want them to have information because it'll just alienate half of the country and endear the other half. Information is what we need. You need to see this. You need to see how it plays out. You need to see how Trump defends himself. There's no question this should absolutely be televised. I think, look, normally court is a public endeavor. I don't see why every court doesn't have available video if people want to see it. I'm really old, right, Jay? I know people who live on my street who were transfixed last year by the Johnny Depp trial. Court TV exists again. It has come back now. And they were watching the Johnny Depp trial. I find those things kind of boring, but I think at the end of the Trump trial, just to kind of tie in with his TV, celebrity, they should not say guilty or not guilty. They should say fired or not, or hired. You're fired or you're hired. I think it's gonna be on, and if it's on, I'm watching it. I want to see how it plays out.
You won me over with that.
I got lots of time to kill, Rhea. This will kill a month or two. Give me a break.
Oh, yes, it will.
A smart host would end the podcast right there because we're not doing better than that line.
No.
All right, that's that final word on that. So let's switch over to British and Teen Corner. What do you got for us this week, Rhea, on British TV?
Okay, on British TV, a new show just dropped, Granite Harbor. It's available in BritBox via Prime. Season 1, just 3 episodes, so you don't have to commit a lot of time to it. 83% of users like the show. I think it's so new, it's not yet rated on Rotten Tomatoes. It stars Romario Simpson as Lance Corporal Davis Lindo. He shows up in Aberdeen, Scotland to train as a detective after completing a 10-year tour with the Royal Military Police. He's born in Jamaica, so I love the Jamaican accent. He's partnered with a veteran detective, Lara Bartlett. She goes by Bart. Let me just say this about the two of them. They are the most fashionable detective duo I've ever seen on TV. He wears colorful suits. She loves a jaunty scarf around their neck. So as one reviewer said, I don't expect to see them digging through dumpsters because their fashion consultant is just way too good. It's pretty formulaic. They're investigating the death of a wealthy local oil magnate. I found the most fun part of it when Lindo is presented with a classic Scottish breakfast, which I had never seen before. Kippers, which I believe is a fish, black pudding, baked beans, assorted fried things. It's basically like a Denny's Grand Slam on steroids. So it's like I said, it's formulaic. They have not yet committed to season 2. I think there's something to work with. Lindo's background in Jamaica is his father's the chief of police, and he had to leave for some dark reason, whatever. So I am curious because I think there's something there to build on. Like I said, 83% liked it. I liked it. I didn't love it. I thought it was okay.
Okay.
Rhea, does this one have better looking people? Because for the sound of your voice on this kind of went up when you're talking about Lindo. Can we assume that this is
Lindo, let me tell you, he's a really good looking guy, and they can't decide where they want to make him brooding or fun loving. He's got a smile that lights up the room. Like I said, the Jamaican accent is really good, and he dresses fantastically. So I'll say that.
So my wife will be interested in this one, I'm sure. I just want to leap in real fast on British Corner because I have been watching on the boat. I just downloaded season 7 of Great British Bake Off Professionals. I think you guys know I'm a Great British Bake Off guy. I think it's the best cooking show around. The same producers are doing it. It's the same idea, except it is professional bakers, not home bakers. So everything is harder. So I just wanted to jump in on this segment. It is great if you love that laid back flavor of the Great British Bake Off. It's just wonderful. It's the best thing to watch.
Where is it, Jay? Where can you see it?
Oh, it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I believe all 7 seasons are on there, but the 7th season just dropped. And Angela, you'll like it. Hot redhead alert as one of the. Oh yeah.
Because I'm still trying to get over Rhea having fish for breakfast. That's a Scottish. Who the heck is eating?
No, I'm not eating fish for breakfast. I'm just saying the breakfast is kippers. So I had to look it up, Ange, and I found out it's a type of fish.
All right. So Teen Corner. What do we got this week on Teen Corner, Rhea?
So this is absolutely a true Teen Corner because my son Clark turned 14 last Friday.
Woo-hoo!
So I invited, yes, very cool. And I invited a bunch of his buddies down. So I had 5 teenagers on Saturday when we got home from the water park. We watched Grown Ups 1 and 2. It's available pretty much everywhere. Hulu with subscription, pay to rent it on every other streamer. Let me just explain this to you. Grown Ups 1 actually got a 10 on Rotten Tomatoes, which is the lowest score I have ever seen. Okay. 62% by audience, which I assume are teenage boys because they loved it. They were dying laughing. It's Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Chris Rock, David Spade, Rob Schneider, Salma Hayek, Maya Rudolph. It's hard to imagine Grown Ups 2 could be even worse, but it was 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. And, this is, I would not go under 14 for it because there's definitely racy sexual innuendo, very crude humor. They've got, there's hot women. And I mean, Salma Hayek is absolutely hot.
Yeah, you had me at Salma.
Yeah, well, shockingly, she's married to Adam Sandler because, absolutely that happens in real life.
Right.
But it's definitely a teenage boy, I would say 15, guys till around 25, 30. They were probably all the ones giving it positive reviews because it was terrible. The story is basically all these guys won a championship when they were in like grade school and their coach dies. And like 30 years later, they all got back together for his funeral. It's terrible.
Hold on a minute. Rhea, so you're telling me that Maria Bella is in that, right? Maria Bello?
Yes, Maria Bello's in it. Yes.
Right. Listen to this. So years ago, Jay, we got tied in with Maria Bello because her mom wrote a cookbook, and we got her to come in, and then we started to talk to Maria Bello. And Rhea remembers this picture. I went to 30th Street Station, and I took a photo.
That's not creepy at all.
All right, stop it, Rhea. And I took a photo with Maria Bella, who is very sweet and quite beautiful. And we had a conversation after we took the photo. And she said to me that the remainder of her career, she had just done the film History of Violence with Viggo Mortensen.
Yes, that was
very
awesome.
Sexy on the stairs where she had out a cheerleader. Remember that stuff?
She
said that she did that and it was good, but she really she craved real quality stuff for the remainder of her career. And you're telling me now, Rick, that she was in 2 movies that got under 10% critical adulation, critical positive
just to
reviews.
let you, I'm not going to say about a scene in the movie, but if she was looking for quality things to do, what she does in this movie, it ain't quality. Let me just say that.
That's not good.
Before we move on to Angela, I just wanted, what was Clark's evaluation? Did his friends like it, or?
They were dying laughing. I mean, listen, I was subjected to them 2 months ago, maybe watching Dumb and Dumber, which I had never seen, and I was really concerned about his IQ dropping. And then we watched Grown Ups 1 and 2. So they loved it because that's the audience. The audience is teenage boys. It's it was really dumb. I'll just put it that way.
Well, you know what? I'm in that target audience. I'll download that for me and my son.
Absolutely. I want to see the Maria Bello scene.
Yeah. I'm dying to hear your Apple pick. What?
All right. You got to understand the background of this. I've been bitching for weeks on this podcast. There's been nothing new that's any good, and I've been recommending older stuff. My wife went to a Pilates class, and the lady stretching next to her said, "You got to check out the new show on Apple." And my wife said, "Oh, don't worry about that. If there's a new show, my husband, he's on a podcast. He would already know it." I didn't know a thing about it, and it is phenomenal. It is called Hijack, and it stars the brilliant Idris Elba.
Love it.
Oh, I love him.
You know him, Rhea. He's got the accent going, a little bit of the accent.
He's a phenomenal actor.
He is, and Rhea, he has never been better than he is in this. He's also an executive producer.
Okay.
It dropped last week on Apple. It is 7 episodes. It is a 7-hour flight from Dubai to Heathrow Airport in London. Yep. And a group of a really weird group of people hijacked this huge plane with 216 people on it. And
wow.
It is a white knuckler for 7 hours. I have not watched the last one yet. I wanted to save it. But the first 6, you want a thrill ride? You want excitement? Oh my God. And Elba is brilliant in it. And all the other people are pretty damn good in it too. And I got to tell you, this is the best thing I've seen streaming in a long time. It's Hijack on Apple. Rhea, there's tons of English stuff because they're flying into London. So they got all the people who, are high up in London politics try to decide what to do. It's great. You will love it. Rhea, I want your review on it next week.
I popped it on. This is up. This is in my wheelhouse. I will absolutely watch it and give a review next week.
And it's getting kind of like a phenomenon online, right? I mean, this is one of those things that people are finding talking about. So yeah, this is one we're all going to have to check out and talk about next week.
No, I thought it was just big in Pilates classes. That's good to know that it's on.
Well, we got to get the Pilates instructor on the phone or on the show to come in, and apparently they're finding all the best stuff.
I guess. I don't know. It's really good. That's all I could say.
All right, for this last segment, I want to introduce it and then get out of the way because you guys are the experts on it, not me. It's the first Eagles game of the season Saturday night. I will not be watching it because I'll be in Bermuda, and I think I can only get like Australian rules football here. I don't know what they have. And I thought it might be fun just to do a state of TV announcers. Why don't the lousy announcers ever get changed? Will Tom Brady do really well on TV next season? Who's the best new voice in the booth? I leave it to you two. You guys watch these shows professionally. What do you guys have? Angela, what's your thought?
Jay, I proposed this because it was my good fortune last weekend to have dinner with somebody who will now be a network analyst on CBS. His name is Russ Tucker.
Wow.
Rhea, in a lot of ways, we kind of discovered him, right?
Yep.
And we knew how great he was. No, not we. Rhea discovered him. In fact, Russ told me. Rhea used to work with him on a station called CNN.
Yes. Yep.
And Rhea, you knew that. This is what, 15
Yeah,
years
this has
ago,
got to
maybe?
be, it was before Clark was born because the last show we did, I had just gotten pregnant with Clark. So it was, more than 15 years ago. Ross had basically just retired from the NFL as an offensive lineman. And he came in and he was super raw, but certain people, we've been around enough people, Angelo and I, who want to get in. People always want to get in the business, but not all of them want to work hard to get in the business.
Yeah.
I saw how hard he worked. I saw that not just, the intelligence. I mean, he went to Princeton, but, he had humor, I just said to Ange, we got to get this guy on. He's really good. And I mean, he's exploded. He's so good at what he does.
Well, now, Rhea, he's finally getting network gigs. He's not going to do the big games and he's not going to do all the games, but he's getting some gigs. And it's the only reason it took this long is he's not a quarterback. He wasn't a Super Bowl hero. And he was just a journeyman lineman, but he's brilliant. And what I want to ask is, why are we, here we go again, Nance and Romo, Tirico and Collingsworth, Buck and Aikman. When they do polls, fans don't, I know Philadelphia despises Collingsworth. Why do they never make changes? Why can't these guys be held to the same standards that the players are? When they are no longer functioning effectively, why are they not replaced?
Collinsworth is not just bad; he's mostly wrong.
Yeah,
he ruined. Most people cannot rewatch the Eagles' Super Bowl victory over the Patriots because of Chris Collinsworth. I get infuriated every time he questions whether Corey Clement actually scored a touchdown.
Yep.
So I think the point is he's just been there so long that they're not going to get rid of him. Tirico doesn't bother me.
No,
Buck and Aikman don't bother me anymore.
Yeah.
No, Nance and Romo are the absolute. Tony Romo stopped. He only was good the first year or two because he knew the league, because he had played in it. Once he didn't know the players, he literally does zero homework. He is the worst announcer I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. I agree 100%. And ironically, now we're going to get one more year with Greg Olson, right, on the Fox network as an analyst. But we already know he's a lame duck because they have already hired someone with zero broadcast experience, Tom Brady, to take his job next year. The whole thing, Jay, I just don't understand the politics of this. They had Dick Stockton doing it when he couldn't even tell what teams were playing. I don't understand why this is billions and billions of dollars. This is the number one thing on television every year, and they keep inflicting bad announcers on the public. I don't understand it.
You know, in a lot of ways, I bring to it my sort of view of it's like screenwriters. There are like screenwriters that have one hit movie and then they get hired to do the next 10 and they all suck. And the reason why is because you're doing $100 million movie. You go, well, let's get a guy who's already got $100 million movie under his belt. So there's this self-perpetuation that goes on where you want to protect the brand by getting people who've done it. But by doing that, you hurt the brand because you don't let anybody new into the club. And I think that's what's happening with all this. And I'm just going to say this about Tom Brady. Will he be good? No. I'm holding to this prediction. Nobody who weighs their food is interesting. It's just science. He's not going to be good at this job.
Do you want to know how nasty this is? Because here's the problem. Greg Olson is good.
Yes.
He's very good.
He's
been good since the moment he stepped into the booth. Do you know what happened when they announced that Brady's taking over the number one spot, which Olson had? His salary, Greg Olson, dropped from $10 million to $3 million. So Tom Brady, who's worth like $500 million, literally just stole $7 million out of the pocket of a guy who will always be better than him.
Horrible. And I should point out, Ross Tucker, we will see the best analysis of the Eagles games this year in the preseason, because starting on Saturday, Ross Tucker will be doing them with Scott Rhea, who's the guy? He used to be a Phillies announcer.
Oh God, Scott Graham.
Yeah, exactly. So check out that. Ross Tucker is great, and he is on his way up to the top because he started with Rhea at CN8. It's a big boost for his career. All right, let me go over what we did here. Granite Harbor, the British pick this week is on Prime. The Great British Bake Off, which apparently this is how Jay Black is using his time in Bermuda. Seems odd. That's on Netflix. Grown Ups, Rhea highly recommends Grown Ups. Really great, not just for kids, for all people. That's on Hulu. And Hijack is fantastic, and it's on Apple TV.
And before we go, I just want to say, guys, thank you so much for listening to the show and sharing it with people. Keep on doing that. Please also rate and review us on iTunes. It helps people find the show. And I want to give a shout out to Bermuda Telecom. I just ran this whole show through my cell phone in my cabin on my computer, and it held up the whole show while Angelo and Rhea were both down at the shore in Jersey. I cannot believe we did it. So shout out to the fine people who work at Bermuda Telecom. And guys, thank you so much for joining us.
See you next week.
See you guys. See ya.
Bye.